I've been in Chiang Mai, the SEO capital of Asia, if not the world, for over 12 years now. And I've been in the SEO field ever since I moved to Chiang Mai. I run an agency called The Blueprints. We have a SaaS called Link Validator. So Listicle, in very simple form, is publishing articles on third-party sites for your brand in the form of what we can also call as a roundup article. So a roundup article that lists your brand and X other competitors. So it's as simple as that.
Want to attract and convert more leads? Want to learn how digital PR, branding, and SEO can establish and build your brand identity? Welcome to the Market Movers Building Brands and Links with Linkify podcast. We answer these questions and help you ramp up your brand visibility and credibility. Let's cut through the noise and make your business the talk of the town. We're your hosts, Nick and Chris. Let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the Market Movers podcast. Today we are joined by Jabez Reuben, founder of The Blueprints, an SEO consultant focused on helping brands win visibility in modern day search. And today we are going to be exploring how listicle-style content is influencing LLM and AI overview results, along with the systems agencies use to build repeatable lead generation and authority. We're really excited about this one. Welcome to the show, Jabez.
Hey, thanks for having me, Chris and Nick. Really appreciate the invite.
Jabez, it's great to have you on. For those who don't know, tell us who you are and what you do.
Right, so my name is Jabez. I'm from India, but I've been in Chiang Mai, the SEO capital of Asia, if not the world. And I've been there for over 12 years now. And I've been in the SEO field ever since I moved to Chiang Mai. I run an agency called The Blueprints. We have a SaaS called Link Validator. We run a link building focus conference called Link Building Mastery. And yeah, that's what my current focus has been.
Very nice. Okay, and today we already mentioned at the top of the show, we were going to be talking about listicles. For anyone that is listening to our show that doesn't know what a listicle is, why don't we just start there?
All right, so listicle, in very simple form, is publishing articles on third-party sites for your brand in the form of what we can also call as a roundup article. For example, top 10 protein powders for men, 10 recommended vegan protein powders for women. So a roundup article that lists your brand and X other competitors. So it's as simple as that.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of talk about these, a lot of focus on this for AI visibility. So I think that's a perfect place to get started. How important are listicles when you're trying to get brand visibility in AI chatbots, especially with bottom of the funnel phrases? And why do you think that the AI models are leaning so heavily on these kind of content?
Why is a very broad question. I mean, right now, to keep things very simple, I can say AI and all LLMs are picking these kind of queries when you search for, hey, what's the best AI writing tool or what's the best SEO tool? The answers are being picked up from these listicles. Also, that's not just the whole story. So listicles are being shown as the citations or the sources, but there are a ton of other articles that are pushing those listicles up. So if your brand is only mentioned in listicles and there's no other mention of your brand in other forms of content like comparisons or other reviews or details or drawbacks, then just publishing listicles are not going to work for LLMs and AI. So in short, yes, when you search for recommendations, various LLMs right now are picking up listicles. I don't know how long they will keep picking up listicles or how long they will be citing listicles for giving answers. But as of now, they are picking that. But at the same time, they are also picking sources from YouTube and Reddit. But if you do a deep dive, you will also see the Reddit conversations and especially YouTube videos that are cited. They are also in somewhat either review style or listicle style for content.
Okay, that's interesting. You mentioned that third-party listicles. So is this a case of injecting ourselves in the pre-existing listicles which are being cited as sources in ChatGPT, as opposed to just like producing a brand new listicle in the same style? And then you also mentioned it's not just listicles. So let's say I injected Linkify into a listicle best link building agency. You said I also need to appear in other content. So is that like secondary and tertiary sort of signals that make the LLMs trust to surface you as a brand? And have you got data behind that?
Right. For right now, you can go after getting your brand added in an existing listicle. The drawback of that is someone else has already paid for, or was the main person or main brand that published that listicle. So that means your brand is not going to be the number one recommendation on that listicle. You'll probably be at the max number two, which can have a negative impact in some way. You want to be the top choice. You want to be, the number one recommendation across various um, sources. So think of it this way: with LLMs and AI overview and related results, just links are not the ranking factor. Larger consensus is what is taken into consideration. So as many sources talking about you as the number one choice in a particular category and catering various solutions. For example, you are, headphones, best headphones. So best headphones for noise cancellation, best headphones for to avoid neck pain, ergonomic headphones, best headphones under 500. So your brand covered in multiple sources and then also covering various ICPs and various features. All the data then pushes towards your brand being cited in multiple categories and results in various LLMs. At the same time, besides listicles, you need to be in comparisons. You need to also have one big mistake. A lot of when people do link building or off page effort, they only focus around the link side of things. But right now, because with LLMs and AI overviews, the shift is going towards larger consensus, right? So when you are building off page, you're putting off page efforts, you need to start seeing off page effort as building topical authority, or what we also call as semantic network as well. Other third party sites, how much are they covering about you? Not just best, or sending links or citations just to your product page. Overall, for your overall brand, what what's the review, what's the consensus, what are the comparisons, all that stuff needs to be covered. And that's what we are seeing right now. So that's why we are putting, instead of relying on existing articles, we do that for diversification's sake. If you can get added into an existing article, great. But for now, what has been giving us results is publishing fresh articles for our, like fresh listicles for our clients, having full control of for them being as the recommended top choice, and at the same time doing a lot of comparison articles, doing a lot of full breakdown of the brand. Let's say if it's as a product, so what's the drawback, what's the best feature, who should take it, who should not buy it, a very neutral looking feedback. So that's what we are doing for gaining results.
That's really interesting about trying to make sure you're number one. I think that seems obvious if you're thinking about it from like the post, but I think one caveat to that would be some of these listicles are more broad. So if you're the example you gave was very specific. So if the listicle is the number or the best headphones for noise cancellation on flights, then that's very, very specific. But if it's the best lender in Texas, there's a lot of room for, even if they don't put you at number one, if they put you at 2 or 3, if you give your specialization, then I think that can still be very beneficial. And then, of course, you want to go after number one in other spots.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, one question I have is, now let's say you're going to start creating a new listicle where you put your client, your company as number one. Where do you distribute that? Obviously, it makes the most sense to find publications that AI is already citing for, but that can be challenging. I hear some people say, don't publish these on your own blog. That's not great. But I also see ChatGPT referencing a lot of these from the brand's blog. So what advice do you have for that?
Okay. So for that, I 100% recommend start with your own blog as well. Definitely. I mean, that's a low hanging fruit. Definitely utilize your real estate. but you have to balance out when you are doing that. And now I'm just being a little bit more careful after there was an update end of Jan and early Feb that did target sites that were hammering listicles on their site, and they were hammering low quality listicles across low quality sites or PR networks, right? Without any variations, like same 100 article, like same article published across 100 sources. So poor distribution saw sites being hammered. Having said that, starting with your own site is definitely helpful. Number two, for now, we suggest our clients, hey, it all depends on your budget, monthly budget, and also your competition. If you are in a niche that has other competitors already heavily investing into listicles, then you need to step up your game as well, and you need to publish at the same velocity and at higher tier sites as well. We have been seeing exceptionally good results with what we call mid-tier, mid to high, semi-high tier guest post sites as well. Because yeah, we as long as those sites have not blocked LLMs in their robots.txt file, and they have good speed, because um, you know uh, content retrieval should be fast as well. So those are few things we keep in mind to, and that has been very cost effective as well for seeing results quickly for our sites. I mean, in some cases, I mean, believe it or not, we've published listicles for a client on a health-based site, and the client was in the SEO agency niche, and it ranked, and not just ranked on LLM, on AI Overview, and on Google's page one as well. How it happened? I mean, we are just testing. We are still testing. Would I recommend everyone to do it? No, but if you're just testing, yes, go ahead, try out. But if you, I mean, don't have budget, you don't have to worry about, because a lot of people keep saying you have to be on the premium sites, DR 80 plus sites only. Those Getting those sites is number one expensive, and sites are also getting stricter. Even if you are willing to pay, they are not willing to accept these kind of articles. A lot of PR networks and newswire networks are, saying no to these requests now. You can go ahead with regular sized guest posts with guest post sites. With the main thing is you need to write the content really well. You need to research it well. Every single thing that you mentioned, even for your competitors, needs to be backed with proper sources, and the structure, FAQs, everything needs to be properly written. And that's been, I mean, a very time consuming part for our writers as well. I mean, that's not something we can just put it in any script or automations and check out a lot of content for listicles. So the way you write articles, those content needs to be very carefully done.
I think it's interesting when you said how long will this last, because when it comes to listicles, I was researching email warm-up deliverability tools recently. So if I do that search in Google and I see emailwarmup.com as a sponsored result, and then I see another warm-up tool as a secondary sponsored result, and then I see the first organic result, I'm completely sort of attuned to the sponsored results being there because they've paid to be there based on my search. Whereas I do find it a bit weird if I'm in ChatGPT and I'm asking for like best email warm-up tools, and I get like surface 8 or 10 recommendations, and I look at the sources, and warmupemail.com is number one, and the source is the warmupemail.com listicle, which lists the top 10 email warm-up tools. It feels like a bad user experience, like I'm being manipulated. So I agree, I don't know how long that'll last. Something which I'm really interested to ask in terms of strategy is, when it comes to production of listicles, there's two things to consider. I'm wondering, how do you approach this? One, we need to match the consensus. So we can't just produce a listicle, put ourselves at number one, and then put like the remaining 8 of brands that no one's ever heard of. But you also strategically don't want to have all your direct competitors within that list. So how do you approach that in terms of a strategy?
I would say we are not worried about, so far, we've not been worried about listing our competitors.
Okay.
Because at the first point you said, you can't just have random brands also listed in your listicles. So part of our research is, or let's say you want to rank for best headphones for music production, right? So we search for it and see which brands are showing up. And then I mean, just you can get a lot of ideas just by doing these researches on various LLMs. You check out the fan out queries. You check out other different topics, subcategories that the result is giving. So, for music, you get here are best headphones for music production. Then it gives different ranges: the premium one, long-lasting one, noiseless, and everything else. And we take ideas from there from our competitors. We do list those competitors, because if we don't uh, list our competitors on rank 2, 3, 4, 5, I mean, only then it will prove to and give the general consensus that our brand is better than this other competitor who is on number 2 now, and other one that is on number 3 now. And one more thing to add on to that is that you need to back up that data on your own site as well. Well, again, like for example, you said, let's I want to rank for best headphones for music production, but I don't have any either product or any description in the product that says that my headphone is really good for music production. Then that can do a negative impact. So that's why having relevant content on your own site, first of all, is the most important thing. And best will be that you definitely do a listicle in that particular category and niche on your site first, and list your competitors on your site's listicles as well. And do the same when you go ahead and publish other on third-party tools.
I think you can also, this again won't work if you're doing something really, really specific where it's a small category already. But let's say we were doing one for best PR agencies. We could link to lots of other really great agencies that don't compete against us. We don't do enterprise. So we could put number 2 and number 3 as agencies that did enterprise. You could put number 4 as an agency that focused on a niche that we don't focus on. So you can do it in a way where you're not promoting your direct competitors. But if you are in something very, very specific, and it won't make sense in that space. Okay. So let's say you go to, you're doing this sort of research. Sometimes you're seeing, here's a listicle, or here's a handful of listicles. This is why ChatGPT is coming up with this answer. But sometimes you get to one where there aren't any listicles. Is that a good opportunity to go create listicles and be the first one to introduce listicles?
Yes, especially a lot of clients say, hey, but for my query, there's no AI overview result yet, but it can come anytime. It's only expanding. So it's just a matter of time where you'll see listicles being cited, or AI overview for your query. So you need to definitely, I mean, if you take the first movers benefit, you should definitely go for that. At the same time, you should also look into the fact, the query type. So we have a client, they are in an event, they have a platform for booking event space, right? And they have they want to rank for a particular festival booking, right? So when you search for best venue for XYZ party, you will usually see actual venues showing up. Whereas my client is the platform. So they can't show up for that kind of query. So I can't put them in best uh, best XYZ party venues. Rather, I can only put them in best platform for booking XYZ party venues. So you need to know your the queries that you want to target, and be careful what form of listicles you're doing. You can't just rank with. It's not that with listicles you can just rank for anything.
So this matching the search intent as well then. Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to listicles, what are you seeing in terms of links? So if we build listicles on our own sites, third-party sites, how powerful are links, both for ranking them in Google? Obviously, we know links work in Google. And then is there a correlation between the listicles that are ranking in Google and then being pulled from, cited and sourced inside of the LLMs?
Right. So a recent result that we saw maybe 2 weeks ago, one of our so our client was on number 1 spot, but our client's competitor was on number 2 spot, and the source that was being cited was our own listicle. We did not add any link to that competitor. We don't add any links to our competitors, by the way.
Of course.
So and plus we have a dedicated testing group just for listicles, where other testers also said that you can rank without links as well. My theory and my strategy with our clients right now is that, okay, if the site's quality is low, not a great site, I'll go ahead and do a unlinked listicle. If it's a great site, I'll do a linked listicle with just link to my main client and other links to informational sources, not to my competitors.
I meant third-party links, so backlinks to the page.
Or to the page, yes. I mean, yeah, you can power up those pages as well. As in, if the content is very well written, you will see them being showing up on page one. You will definitely see them on page one. We are seeing that. I mean, there's been absolute some crazy results where they are ranking on. The brand is ranking on EIO. Article you publish is in the citations for EIO, and then you are on with the first organic result, or at least in the first page. So if you want to consistently be there, just power up some links to your listicles there.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, let's talk about how we structure these posts. So there's a lot of talk about structuring content so that it's picked up. It's easy to parse by the LLMs. What is your strategy around how to actually structure this post so that it does get picked up by the chatbots?
Okay. I think the most crucial part for us is the title, how you are structuring the title. So don't go with just the word best. You can do a lot of variations. 10 recommends, even the numbers, play around with a lot of numbers. Right now, my strategy is if it's a first campaign for a client, don't go for 10 and above number. It's just that those are results that I'm seeing that for fresh new campaigns, or I'm not seeing, at least for our clients, I've not seen top 3 XYZ listicle being published. Mostly I'm seeing top 10, top 20, 15. So you play around with the numbers in the first. Then you play around with the first word, 10 recommended, 10 trusted, top 10 local favorite, 10 highly decorated, or 10 reviewed competitors. Then you choose the ICP. ICP will be, let's say, top 10 laptop stands for programmers or gamers or developers. Then you can even broaden further the location of your ICP in USA, in Canada, in Australia. Then the last part will be its 2026 review or 2026 update, 2026 analysis, 2026 survey, just variations. So I think that's a very crucial part of structuring the content. Is the title needs to be really well researched and make sure across all the listicles that you publish, it's well diversified. Then obviously we go ahead with clear details of your main client or main brand, and resolve the answer really quick. Don't go you shouldn't have a 5-line intro and then coming to the fact why this brand is the number one choice. Cost of retrieval should be really quick. It shouldn't take so much time to crawl and then come to the answer. So straight away, we even many times in the title, article title, we mention X brand is 2026 winner, or X brand is our number one choice. Then we start with the straightaway answer. And then also for our own brand, to make it look natural, add some downsides as well. Okay. However, this is expensive. This is not suitable for this. And do the same for other brands and have a consistent ratio. It shouldn't be that for your own brand, you wrote 500 words and the rest you wrapped up in 50 words each. So have some form of consistency. Basic other guidelines is make it as well structured as possible. Like if you can add some videos or graphs and other third-party high authority sources as citations, and good FAQs. For FAQs, take take suggestions or from what you see from actual results on ChatGPT or Claude, the other queries that it spins out, and ask people also ask for those kind of questions, and you plug them all in your content.
Love that. Love that. I always find it hard to think of the negative things if we're doing stuff for ourselves. The co-founders are just too handsome, perhaps. Maybe I don't know. But,
Too nice.
yeah.
Too nice to their customers.
This has been really, really good, Jabez. As we come to the end, I think we should definitely just, before we finish, touch on parasites. So I recently managed to get us ranked on a parasite. Dig.com, it got bought back. For anyone that doesn't know, dig.com, huge authority site. They bought it back from the dead. I got us ranked page 1 for best PR agencies. And then stupidly, actually, I haven't told you this, Nick, so apologies. I thought I'm gonna go back onto my account and do another article, and then my whole account's got blocked and I've lost it. So I know, apologies. Is it worth the effort? I know you can have some wonderfully fast and impressive results with it, but it just doesn't stick, does it? So what are your thoughts there?
I'm all about building consensus right now. 100%. As long as, do anything that's not going to cause heavy losses for you. So, for example, if you have an age LinkedIn account, go ahead and might as well, start publishing articles there as well. But if it's a new account, I don't want to hammer, back-to-back articles just to get blocked. So as long as I can play it safe and keep my profiles and investments safe, I for my own brand and for my clients, I would want to be everywhere as much. Even if I don't see results from here, I'm not seeing results coming from Dig, or I'm not seeing results coming from Medium. Doesn't matter, because right now with LLMs, at least right now, they are definitely heavy on the overall consensus of the brand. And for with that, even we are trying to. I wouldn't say if we've seen any results because we have not tested, but we are going to even test, heavily Medium and different PBNs just to build more information for the brand. We are not going to publish listicles on them, but want to publish unlinked, just different what we call deal breakers. There's a very interesting white paper that James Knockley's Prosperity Media they've released. And an interesting point that they mentioned in their research was to have articles or content related to deal breakers, like why, for example, why the XYZ brand is so expensive, or will this last for more than 2 years, or will this be good for people with back pain or neck issues? So deal breaker articles. So I would use all that to
I think he
surface.
talked about that in Chiang Mai, didn't he?
Steve Toth, I think, who talked about that, right?
Yeah, Steve Toth, probably, yeah, because Steve Toth and James are doing a lot of work together. So
okay.
I would 100% do that. So in short, my advice to anyone trying to do, first of all, don't just focus on listicles. See building off-page efforts as building a topical map or a semantic network as well. All the coverage that you want to plan out for your own site, you should have the same, or if not more, on third-party sites as well.
That's fantastic. Jabez, this has been a great listicle-based episode. I'd say this is the #1 best listicle episode we've ever done. Please visit our listicles to see the other 9.
I was going to ask, will this rank in your top 10 listicles podcasts?
Definitely.
You'll be number 2. Don't worry.
Oh, dang it.
Okay, Jabez, well, you celebrated a birthday yesterday, so I'm sure the celebrations are afoot. If people want to hunt you down and find you, where's the best place that they can?
LinkedIn, Facebook. These are 2 places where I'm talking a lot about our recent testing. So yeah, these are 2 best places to find me.
Okay, and you do a lot of conferences as well. Just before, have you got anything coming up that you're hosting? If people want to come and see you in person,
I'm speaking at least. I've got a few events I'm speaking at. There's one in Phuket. Then next is after that in May there are 2, one in Poland, then Malta, and probably Turkey. So these are conferences I'm speaking at. We have our own conference called Link Building Mastery in Chiang Mai in November. Looks like it's going to be a lot about AI and off-page ranking factors that's influencing LLMs and AI this year. So yeah.
That's awesome. Hopefully we'll see you there. Thank you so much, Jabez.
Cool. Hey, thanks for having me, Chris and Nick. Really appreciate that.
Thanks, Jabez.
Cheers.